Hi, this is Dr. Meyer again. I wanted to say thank you for coming in earlier. It was a pleasure to meet you. I like to touch base with people on this video and just reiterate some of what we discussed today because we went over a lot of information. And it's so common to hear people say that they went home and they tried to explain something to a family member or a friend or coworker about their experience and they could only remember bits and pieces. And I'm not going to go over everything that we discussed today, but I do want to try and encapsulate things and refresh your memory. And you can also show this video to other people if you choose to. But it's designed to help you just get the most out of your experience from today. So what we did was we started off by going through your health history. We asked a lot of questions. We wanted to understand what feels good, what doesn't feel good, how long things have been around. And the key with finding out how long they've been around often helps us to understand what the actual condition is and what it's going to take to try and restore things back to normal, or at least get them going in that direction. We know we're going to have a different result for an 18-year-old than we're going to have for an 80-year-old. And of course, somebody who is very physically active versus someone who's really not overly physically active. So again, today was a fact-finding mission. Well, after we asked all the questions, we also talked about a couple of conditions. And the primary one that I wanted to make sure that you understand is this term called subluxation. Subluxation is a condition that inhibits your nervous system from taking care of your body. That's what we look at here. And so as an example, I showed you the spine model. And what we want to understand about this is that signals originate from your brain and they have to travel away and back to the brain. And they travel down the spinal cord that runs down the middle of your spine and then out along these spinal nerves to every cell of your body. Well, sometimes instead of the bones being aligned nice and straight like this, they shift out of position. And when that happens, we wind up putting pressure on these nerves, which means they can't function optimally. Well, if the nerve that sends signals or receives signals can't function optimally, that means that you can't. And we use this expression, fully expressing your health potential. Well, that's what we want. We want you to fully express your health potential. That means everything's going great, your body knows what to do at all times, but if we have a subluxation like that, it's pressing on nerves and not allowing you to express your full health potential. So again, today was this fact-finding mission all about understanding how is your body functioning and do you or do you not have subluxations. So after we chatted and we talked about subluxation, then I examined your spine. I felt it, had you stand in a few different positions, touch your toes, stand on one leg, touch your nose and dance. Had you lay down in a couple of positions and we move your body around a little bit. So we really got a good sense for positioning of your spine and how things are working. And then we did some neurological testing, which is beautiful because I can ask you, just like you can ask me, how do you feel today? Well, perhaps I feel completely fine. But does that mean that everything inside is fine? Not necessarily. I can't tell how well my heart is functioning or my liver or spleen. Those don't have any sensation with them, so they wouldn't give me an easy clue if they weren't functioning normally. So we did some neurological testing that allows us to see how are nerve signals actually being sent away from the spine and back to the spine. And when you come back in at your next appointment, we're going to look at the results of those tests. Now, for many people, we will have also taken x-rays on this first visit. And if we did for you, as I mentioned in the evaluation, we're going to be looking at those when you come back too. And they're so important for us to understand how the spine is managing the stress of our lives. Well, we have stress all the time. Either we stand a lot or we sit a lot. Or we lay in funny positions or we use too many pillows or the wrong kind of pillows. Or we drive our car like this, or we always read books like this, or we lay in bed and watch TV. I mean, the list is endless. And this is not about placing blame on anybody. It's about recognizing that in our lives, our lifestyle brings in certain types of stresses on our body. Not only emotional stress, but physical stress too. And so when we look at the x-rays, we're going to see how has your spine been dealing with the stresses in your lifestyle. And that'll help us to determine how much care what sort of care, how much we can help, and what kind of outcome we can expect. So I'm looking forward to that visit. I always love the big, wow, now I get it, that we get from looking at the x-rays and also from the neurological scans. So just as a reminder, I encourage you to bring somebody with you to the reported findings. If you can't, that's okay. But it's for your benefit if you can, because you'll get a better understanding, and the people who are in your life and who are close to you will then understand what it is you're undertaking to try and improve your overall wellness. We want you to have a quality of life that is the best that you can recall. And I want to set you on a plan where we can look back in 5 years and 10 years from now and say that your health is better than it was when we began here. So again, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope that you understand what a subluxation is. That's really key. And I look forward to seeing you at your next visit. So thanks, and have a great day.